Hi friends, I recently spoke with Jeffrey Duteil, the writer and producer responsible for some groundbreaking LGBTQ episodes of TV shows in the 80s and 90s. We talked about his work on the show Roc, which featured American primetime TV's first depiction of a same-sex commitment ceremony. This video is our full unedited conversation, and check the link in the description for my Culture Cruise video that goes into more depth on the cultural and political landscape in which that episode aired. Now, here's Jeffrey.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Duteil. I was one of the writers and producers on Roc, and I wrote the episode Can't Help Loving That Man that we're going to be talking about.
Fantastic. So just to start, what's your favorite memory from making that episode?
Well, I think getting the GLAAD Award was what that meant a lot to me. But the episode itself, for its time, it was way ahead, I think, being an episode about, of course, it wasn't strictly marriage on television at that time, a gay marriage, but it was a commitment ceremony. And just the way we worked through the episode and worked the episode out so that it became about more than just gay marriage and acceptance. The story, of course, was that the Roc's father, it was his brother that was decided we would bring him into the episode. He had a gay brother, and he was going to have a commitment ceremony and wanted to introduce to the family the love of his life. And the father seemed to have less of a problem with his brother being gay and wanting to have a commitment ceremony than he did when he finally met the would-be groom, who was a white man. And Roc's father was always a black activist. And he had a really difficult time accepting that his brother was marrying a white person, even more so than that he was marrying another man.
What was the conversation in the writer's room around having a commitment ceremony? Did anybody think at the time that they were making history?
I don't think so much that they thought they were making history, but it was a hard story to break. I know in the writer's room, Stan Daniels and the producers, Brian Pollock and Mert Rich, we were having a hard time breaking the story because we didn't want it to be, oh, his gay brother's showing up and he doesn't approve of his gay brother or he doesn't approve of having a commitment ceremony. We were really struggling with what to make the episode more than just that. And coming up with the idea, it was Stan Daniels who came up with the idea of let's make it an interracial relationship. And that just was like a light bulb went off and everybody could see that, oh, so the problem isn't going to be the gay issue. It's going to be more than that. Mm. And that really, after that, the story just really, I won't say it wrote itself, but it was a lot of fun to write, because it was about something.
How did people at the network react when it was being made, and then how did they react after it aired?
Well, as it was being made, there were some concerns. If I'm trying to remember, it was some time ago, but among the cast, when I think a network did not want to look as if their question was, are we promoting something here? And that, I didn't like the sound of that. And one of my responses to them was, well, I think if we're promoting anything, it's tolerance and acceptance, and that's always a good thing. And so they were braced the night the show aired to receive phone calls and whatever. This was way before social media had any influence. And they were all, the calls were so supportive. It was overwhelmingly supportive. And they got back to us on that the next day and told us that they couldn't be more pleased with the way it turned out.
How does it feel looking back to have written such a significant milestone for TV?
Well, now, with Will and Grace, you could see that sort of thing every week, but you did not see it every week then. And as a young younger gay man writing and being open myself and in the writer's room, it was very gratifying. And even the cast, and one of the person that played the brother was Richard Roundtree, which was really kind of a coup for casting him because and he also appeared on 3 or 4 more episodes of Roc after that as the gay brother. I wasn't involved with those episodes, but we were talking about Shaft himself, willing to play the gay brother, and that was a really good memory because he couldn't have been nicer and more open and creative himself. But he had suggestions himself about the ceremony. It was a really gratifying experience.
Did you find after you wrote that episode that people were coming to you for either permission or just guidance on writing gay characters or gay storylines?
Well, not specifically, but very often I was the only openly gay writer in a writer's room on many, I worked on another, like 14 different shows. And whenever in a writer's room, the jokes come fast and furious, but sometimes if a joke was pitched that might be, would it be gay acceptable, gay offensive, gay, everybody's head would turn and look at me as if I were the great grand gay arbitrator here. So that was kind of fun too. But most everything was done in a supportive and fun way. And even if the scripts didn't make it into the show, there were a lot of great gay jokes that went around the room, and I was probably the cause of many of them.
How does gay content on TV now compare to what it was then?
Well, I think it's so wonderful, even we're talking on YouTube, that the young gay kid in me in Ohio growing up, if I could have seen the network television now and stories and movies, Love Simon, all the gay YouTubers that have their channel, the It Gets Better project with those thousands of coming out stories and stuff. I think that's all been a part of the acceptance that the gay America has had, and leading so quickly to gay marriage. We can actually, my husband and I, we've been together 35 years this next month. But we actually got married 5 years ago in New York, just before it was going to become, legal everywhere. And I think the public opinion about that changed so quickly in record time for an issue like that, because I think of television and I won't give Will and Grace all the credit, but everything, just those from Golden Girls to the episode of Roc, when you introduce people to an idea which they may have thought was impossible, or no, it will never happen. My mom never expected me to get married when she found out I was gay many, many years ago. She was she did the usual, crying and where did I go wrong? Didn't I take you to enough sports? But she was concerned I would be alone. I wouldn't get married. I wouldn't have children. And in the meantime, my straight brother has never been married, has no kids. Scott and I have been together 35 years. We have 2 boys we adopted 20 years ago when they were 4 and 6. They're now 27 and 24. And our lives turned out completely different than what my mom would have expected. And I think in a sense, she's there in Ohio. She's very middle America. And I think middle America is much more accepting and maybe even surprised themselves a little bit, because everybody now probably has a gay family member or a gay coworker or a gay neighbor that they see on a regular basis. And now you see it on a regular basis on TV. And I think that's just made a tremendous difference.
Well, Jeff, thanks so much for your contributions to TV back at a time when it was difficult to be there, and thanks so much for making time to chat with me today.
Oh, you're very welcome. I enjoyed it, and I really enjoy your videos, your YouTube videos.
Oh, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Thanks again for watching, and thanks to Jeffrey Duteil for making time to chat with me. If you enjoyed this video, check out my Culture Cruise video about that episode of Roc that we discussed, and my other Culture Cruise videos for more queer milestones on TV. I'll see you next time.